Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for a match preview for Villa's game against Brentford at Villa Park on Wednesday night.
So before we go any further with this preview, I just want to give a quick update on the Villa View mugs. If you're not interested in these mugs, or maybe you've already got one, you can skip ahead to the time code that I'll link up here to carry on with the rest of this match preview. The first 100 have all been sold in two batches of 50. That was great fun, packaging all those up. I've been getting a lot of tweets that some have ended up in Norway, parts of America, London, Manchester. So again, thank you very much for all the support, and for those of you that bought them, we really appreciate it. We've also been getting a lot of messages saying, where can I get one? When are they back on sale? Are you doing any more? We will be doing some more. We are planning on doing another batch. We did say that if any turned up broken or missing or anything like that, then we would sort a refund or a replacement. I think there's been 2, maybe 3 so far that have sent me a DM to say, oh, sorry, the mug's broken. Can we sort a replacement? Which absolutely fine. It's just bad luck, isn't it, to have bought this mug and then wait for it to come in the post and it arrives broken. Must be a real disappointment, and apologies for that. They're all packaged the same way, so it's just a bit of bad luck, I think, whichever one's ended up broken. But we've already sorted a couple of people with replacements. Once that this next batch have all been safely delivered and we've sorted all the various replacements we need to, or the refunds, we'll then start production on another batch. We'll get in touch with Jay and try and sort it out as soon as we can. So far, we've done 2 lots of 50. I think for this third batch, we sort of want to gauge where the numbers are sitting at the moment. We're not quite sure or how many we need to buy. So the whole purpose of this little segment is, if you're watching this video now and you wanted one of these mugs but you missed out when they went on sale, if you can send us an email, which we'll link below, it's contact@thevillaview.co.uk. If you just send us a quick email and say, yes, I would buy one, we'll then gauge how many people are interested and we'll order that many. So Wednesday night then, it's Brentford at Villa Park. Dan, probably safe to say that this is our toughest test so far. Will this sort of give us an idea of where Villa are this season?
It's definitely our toughest test. As I say, I think the fixture list's been quite kind early doors. I mean, obviously you can only beat what's put in front of you, but Brentford have started very, very well. They've had some good results. They play some nice football, and historically the last 2 years in the Championship, they're a team that we've come unstuck against every time. We don't seem to be able to play against them. So I've got to be honest, I'm heading into this one quite worried, especially the way I know we're unbeaten, but we're not playing well. So this is a worry for me on Wednesday night.
Yeah, we say Brentford had a great start. Results-wise, it's identical to Villa. It's just the performances are different. So is it being a little bit harsh on Villa to look at it in a way that we almost don't say it's a great start for Villa, when points-wise, us and Brentford are level pegging so far?
I can see both sides. I just don't think we've played well in any of the games. It is a results business, so ultimately I'm very happy with the results. And if we play crap all season and pick up the points at the rate we have done in the first 3 games, then ultimately we'll go up and I'll be chuffed. But I just don't think we can play that badly against Brentford and get a result, because they'll pick us apart. I mean, they picked us apart at Villa Park last year when we didn't play very well, and if it hadn't been for Sam Johnston, we'd have come away with nothing. We were lucky to come away with a 0-0 draw that day. At the moment, we're nowhere near as good at the back as we were last season. So that's a worry against Brentford, because last season we were good at the back and we struggled. So having them come up against a back line that's looked pretty shaky, and a goalkeeper who, it's early days, I'm not going to get on his back, but he looks pretty shaky as well. It is a worry, this game.
Talking on that back four just for a moment, our back four, I saw a theory on Twitter of someone trying to apply a little bit of logic to the whole basically playing players out of position, obviously Twanzebe right back and Jedinak centre back and all this sort of thing. Obviously this is maybe reading a little bit too much into it, but they sort of maybe, I can't remember who it was, but they sort of suggested that perhaps Bruce knows that Twanzebe needs games to get fit, so he knows he's going to have to bring him off in games, and he doesn't want to disrupt a centre-back pairing. I don't know how I've worded that to make sense. It's easy enough to bring a right back off and replace him with, Elmo drops back and you bring a winger on or whatever. He knows Twanzebe's got to come off for fitness, so he doesn't want to disrupt the centre-half pairing every game. It sort of makes sense, but there's part of me that thinks it's looking into it a bit too much to try and find a logical reason for this, what seems a bizarre way of playing at the moment.
I mean, before you threw that at me, I was going to say there must be a reason for it. Yeah. Because he can't think so. He can't think that's a long-term solution, the back line that we're playing at the moment. But if he's going to do that, the main issue seems to be Jedinak at centre-back.
Yeah, it doesn't excuse why Elphick won't play centre-back over Jedinak.
Looking at that logically, maybe him and Chester isn't the best partnership. Maybe they're a bit too similar, and Chester's the superior player. So he's in the side and he's using Jedinak because he's good in the air. There will be a reason for it, but I just don't think we look comfortable with it. I mean, Elphick and Chester played in that first game and we conceded 1 goal, but really we looked pretty good at the back that day, I thought. And if I was Elphick, I just thought I'd find it a bit insulting. But I did see a stat that said that we haven't lost a game with Jedinak at centre back whenever he's played there. So it's weird. You can dress things up any which way, but the way I look at it is, what am I seeing with my eyes, and I don't think we look comfortable with it. You can throw all kinds of stats at it. Against Brentford, that I don't think that'll work because he's not mobile enough, and Brentford are arguably the most mobile team in the division. So for me, this is the game he has to put Twanzebe in at centre back because he's got that pace that can get himself out of sticky situations.
Yeah.
It's his position. He's been given the number 4 shirt, and I know you can't read too much into squad numbers, but you'd presume he's been given that because he's going to play centre back. It's his position. That's where he's played for Man U in pre-season. So I want to see him there because we've done this a few times against Brentford, where I think Whelan and Jedinak played in central midfield at Griffin Park last year, and they just completely dominated us and outrun us.
Yeah.
You need mobile players against Brentford.
Do you think some of that uncomfortableness, and I'm pretty sure that's not a word, comes down to the fact that we haven't quite got the goalkeeper settled in yet?
It's maybe not the fact that he's not a settled keeper. It's maybe the fact that they don't know him. They don't know his game, and they've been playing in front of Johnston for the last season and a half. And obviously, you build a rapport on the pitch, you build relationships, and that relationship won't be there with Neeland yet. It can't be. After two games, I mean, him and Maria both have looked pretty shaky, but it's early days, and it's more probably the back 4 changing that I would suggest is a problem, which is maybe another reason why he kept Jedinak in the last game, just so he didn't unsettle things too much. There will be reasons for all these things. If it had been me, I probably wouldn't have let Steer go. I'd have let him see out the first 3 or 4 games and give Neeland time in training to get to know people. That would have been what I would have done, because there's still time for Steer to go out on loan, and if he does well, he keeps the shirt. But I guess when you've spent money to bring a goalkeeper in, you're saying he's your number 1, and you kind of probably feel like you have to throw him straight in. But it's all rustiness. I mean, you can't say Neeland's a bad keeper at the moment. He's made a mistake in the last game. I didn't really hold him accountable for anything in the Wigan game. Yeah, okay, his kicking wasn't the best, but I think that suicide back pass completely knocked his confidence. But he needs a good game, and I'm presuming he's going to be pretty busy on Wednesday night, so maybe this is his chance to shine now, because I can't really recall him having had to make a real proper save yet.
Fully aware this is probably a stupid question, but Ryan Woods hasn't played yet. He's been talk of a move away. Is it a plus for Villa that Woods won't be playing tomorrow night? We hope.
Oh, he's a good player. He's a player I'd love us to have, Ryan Woods. I've been saying ever since that first time I watched him play at Villa Park.
I think you mentioned that once or twice.
Since that first game, he's just the kind of player that every time I watch him I think, I'd like him at Villa. He's a very good player at this level. Yeah. Probably could play in the Premier League, I would suggest. I mean, it looks like he's going off to Swansea is it Swansea or Stoke? Sorry, it looks like he's going off to Stoke.
I've seen both, I think.
I'm not sure he's a team that would particularly suit him. I mean, Rowett's brand of football isn't exactly sparkling. I know Bruce has his critics, but Rowett's brand of football isn't great. It's effective, but it's not brilliant. So I can't say that's a good move for him. It's like when Benteke went for Liverpool, we all knew that probably wasn't a good move for him because they didn't put crosses into the box, and look how his career's gone since. He's never reached the heights that he did at Villa Park. But he's a very good player, but we've also made him look better than he is every time we've played him, because we've given him the freedom of the football pitch. No one seems to want to go near him, and he drops deep, picks up the ball, and just allowed to do what he wants. So it's a plus he's not playing, because that means we can't do that. So we haven't beaten Brentford since we've been in this league. They've been a team that we've really, really struggled against, and Woods has been a reason for that. He's been one of the reasons, but we've given him far too much respect, and we've got to get amongst them tomorrow, because otherwise they'll pass us off the park. And you've got to play mobile players. It's very important what he does in the midfield tomorrow. I mean, I've got a feeling he'll bring Whelan back in, and I really like Whelan, but I'm not sure Brentford's the game for him, just as I'm not sure it's the game for Jedinak.
Obviously Woods would have been an easy choice for the danger man for Brentford, so who else should we be looking out for tomorrow night?
I mean, they got Maupay up front, who I thought was very, very lively at Villa Park last year. He just didn't have the finishing touch. That day he seems to have found that finishing touch now. They've got good players all over the park, Brentford. They're a good team. It doesn't matter how many players they lose, they just seem to come back the next season and play in the exact same manner. And hats off to Dean Smith and hats off to Brentford, because they've got a way of operating and it works for them. And I did my predictions with Tom in the podcast booth. I'm kind of regretting not putting Brentford in that top 6 now, because I think this could be the time now where they either go up or they go very, very close. I mean, they've got Romain Sawyers as well, who was at Warsaw. He's a good player and he looks like he's made a good start to the season. I mean, you saw that goal they scored against Stoke. It was just, I can't think of a better phrase, it was total football. Like, they're just popping it around, and it resulted in a goal. They're a good team, and Villa will have to be at their absolute best to beat them. I mean, probably the 2 times we played them last season were bad times. It came in the midst of runs where we were on bad form. I would say at the start of the season and then over Christmas, you'd say they were probably our 2 worst patches. So maybe it's a good time to play them, in the fact that we haven't got off to a bad start and confidence isn't on the floor as it has been every time we've played them in the league since we've been in this league. What
do you make of the game? Because obviously looking at it now, you look at it and go, it's 2 contrasting styles. That Brentford are whooping it around and we don't do that. How does that affect the game? Is it a stalemate that it sort of cancels each other out, or will Brentford come to Villa Park and run the show like they've done before? I
mean, the way they play, we've got, as I say, we've got to get amongst them. They won't change how they play, so that means we have to do something. I mean, can we out-football Brentford at the moment? I think we've got the right players in central midfield to play football. Whether we're doing it or not at the moment is another thing, but I worry about the wide areas at the moment, both at full-back and from an attacking sense. For whatever reason, it's not there at the moment. It's not coming together. I mean, we seem to have this habit of just swinging the ball into the box, and it really frustrates me, because it seems to be our main game plan at the moment. But even Codger's goal that he scored on Saturday, if that cross hadn't been absolute pinpoint, which not many crosses are, he isn't scoring that goal, because he's the only, or Villa aren't scoring that goal because he's the only person in the box. So many times we just swing the ball, and I like Adoma. He had a very good season last season, but he's one of the worst culprits for this. It's kind of just head down, swing the ball in the box, and it's very one-dimensional. And we've got those players in the middle of the park to play. I mean, potentially a new winger coming in will change things for us, although not on Wednesday, because we need to take the pressure off Jack. If we can get another skillful attacking player on the wing that occupies more players of the opposition at the moment, kind of, if you get close to Jack and stop Jack, you're stopping a big part of Aston Villa. And is there another way of us hurting teams at the moment? At the moment, it doesn't feel like there is. And I like that. I'm not saying we've got bad players, because we haven't. I just don't think we've found that way of playing so far this season. Yeah.
So we'll look ahead to our predicted lineups now. Unlike the last video, we have gone over these this time, so we can bring back the fancy graphic. I'm sure everyone will be pleased to see. So first of all, I'll run through the team that we think Bruce will go for, and then we'll sort of discuss it in a minute. So we've got Noland in goal, El Mohammadi at right back, Twanzebe and James Chester at centre half, Alan Hutton left back, Glenn Whelan, Super John McGinn and Jack Grealish making for midfield 3, Albert Domer at right, Jonathan Codger up front and Andre Green on the left. If you were the manager, we'd be swapping out Glenn Whelan for Conor Hourihane. Why would you make that change?
Everyone knows I like Conor. I rave about him on the podcast. He's one of my favourite players. I really like what he brings to the side. I think he brings an energy. I mean, I don't think he played at Brentford last year. As I say, I think it was Whelan and Jedinak in there, and we got outran. With Conor in the side, you're not going to get that, because he covers every blade of grass, and as I've said previously, he closes down at the right times in the right areas. Yeah. And he's got the added bonus of he offers an assist and a goal threat. I think him, McGinn and Grealish can play together, and that's what I'd be doing. I think, as I've said, I think the players are clever enough to pick and choose when to come forward, and know that if 2 have gone, you're the one that needs to stay and be that anchor man for that situation at that minute. So that's what I'd be doing. But I think Bruce has got into his head a little bit about rotation at the moment. I mean, the wingers have heavily rotated. I've just got a feeling he's going to put Whelan in for Bjarnason, and as I say, I like Whelan, but you've got to ask yourself, is against mobile, busy, gets around the pitch well Brentford, is that the game for him?
Yeah, I think the team that we've selected for Bruce to play, I think if Bjarnason replaces Whelan, I think that's what I'd go for. I think that's probably it's debatable between Hourihane and Bjarnason, depending on if you want to play someone a little bit more deeper, but I think that's probably our best 11 at the moment. Obviously, we're all expecting 2 or 3 additions we keep hearing. So once that happens, I think we've got the makings of a good team. I think, like we said at the beginning, this is our biggest test so far, and now we're starting to get the 11 settled a little bit. I hope that we can really see Villa progress, and obviously Codger gets his first goal as well. More of that, and we push on now is the plan.
I just want to see the change of El Mohammadi at fullback. I think that's the main thing at the moment, because Twanzebe isn't a natural fullback. He's not doing the business for us coming forward. He doesn't look comfortable with that, whereas that's something Elmo is very good at. So that's the change I'm desperate to see, because we need something out wide. I don't feel like there's anything there at the moment for us.
So I get the feeling you might not be the most positive with this one, but let's hear your prediction for Wednesday night, Dan.
Part of me thinks it'll be like one of those the Wolves games or the Bristol game where we just turn up and we're at our best just from nowhere. But Brentford outplayed us last year, and we came away with a 0-0. So there's every chance the same kind of thing could happen again. But as I say, our defence isn't as strong this year, so I can't see them not scoring. If there's anything Brentford aren't great at, it's defending. I'd say that's probably their biggest weakness. But I've just got a feeling it's going to be a bad night at Villa Park. I don't want it to be. I really don't want it to be. I want to come on here and predict us winning. But without a new signing, because no one's going to be registered in time, I think there's a bit of a negative feel off the back of the Ipswich game after what happened in that game. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Brentford, but I'm not happy making that prediction.
Yeah, I think I've said to you a couple of times that I feel like this team was good enough to get us through the first few games. I'm not quite sure it's in its current state that it's good enough to get us through tomorrow night. I feel like we maybe we'll revert to type a little bit and go, right, we're pretty good at just shutting up shop sort of thing, so let's just go hard on that and just try and break Brentford down as best we can, sort of leaving a couple of late tackles and try and disrupt them a little bit. And maybe we nick a goal through a bit of magic from Grealish, or Andre Green bangs in a worldie or whatever.
If he picks the right team, if he picks the team the kind of team we've suggested him, there's a chance of us winning, but I can't see him picking that team.
No.
I can just see the back four being the same, and it doesn't fill me with confidence. As I say, I like all the players. I like Bruce, but that back line isn't working for me. It's not doing it for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like you say, it's hard to want you want to come on here and predict Villa win every game. I feel like I'm probably going to do that anyway, just because I can't face not doing it. So I'll go sneaky 1-0 Villa, and just hope that we'll cancel them out for a bit and nick a goal out somewhere and be like, okay, well, this is a different Villa.
That's the only way I can see us winning tomorrow. And as I say, I don't like coming on here and predicting us not to win, but I fear Brentford tomorrow, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So that's it for today's match preview. Apologies for my negativity. As I say, I don't like doing it, but it's just how I feel going into this game. I'm usually very positive, but I've just got a bad feeling for this Brentford game. If you have enjoyed my negativity, then make sure you're giving this video a like and comment below with your predictions and thoughts ahead of the Brentford game. What would you do if you were Steve Bruce? What players would you pick? Let us know in the comments. If you're not already subscribed to the Villa View with your post notifications on, and if you could do that, that would be absolutely fantastic. We're not far off 12,000 subscribers now, so if we could hit that landmark as soon as possible, that would be absolutely brilliant. And once again, we really appreciate all the support that you give the channel. I'll be outside the whole end doing fan cams as usual after the game, so make sure you do come and have your say on what's happened during the game, and hopefully, despite everything I've said in this preview, we'll be talking about 3 points to Villa. Once again, thanks for all your support. Stick with the channel, stick with the Villa, up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.